Hey everybody, Joe here. Last night I had brought forcibly to my attention while listening to a broadcast of the Jeannie K show on the VP Live network, the most insidious and scurrilous attack not only on e-cigarettes but on the Constitution of the United States of America that I have ever had the misfortune to either see or hear of before in my life. Okay, let me back this up here a moment and set the stage for you. Back on September 25th, 2015, there was published in the United States Federal Register a notice of a proposed rule by the Food and Drug Administration. The URL is appearing below me as I speak at the bottom of the screen. It'll also show up in the show notes below here. Pursuant to the Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act, or FD&C Act, entitled Clarification of When Products Made or Derived from Tobacco Are Regulated as Drugs, Devices, or Combination Products, amendments to regulations regarding, quote, intended uses, close quote. This Notice of Proposed Rulemaking, or NPR, states that all submissions received must include the docket number FDA-2015 N for November 2002 or 2002 and must be received no later than November 24th, 2015. Now, on November 18, 2015, the FDA received and published a submission by a group calling itself the UCSF Center for Tobacco Control Research and Education, or UCSF TCORS for short. The URL to this document also is appearing below me right now and in the show notes as well. Proposing that the FDA, pursuant to its powers, to gag all non-substantiated claims by a device's manufacturer as to the device's efficacy to cure or mitigate disease, order that all manufacturers, distributors, resellers, citizens, websites, blogs, vlogs, and other media, both traditional and electronic, be forbidden from making any claims that e-cigarettes have any efficacy in helping people who are addicted to the nicotine content of traditional cigarettes quit traditional cigarettes, as this implies that these devices are a nicotine cessation device and therefore come under the FDA's purview for same. This group, the names of the authors appear at the bottom of page 1 of the document. By the way, calls on the FDA to gag anyone, including individual citizens, from making any statements, including personal testimonials, as to the efficacy of e-cigarettes to assist in the quitting of traditional combustible tobacco products. This document also states that even though manufacturers have included somewhere in their materials the statement that they do not claim that these products can help you to quit, this group contains that the very fact that they mention that people have reported that they have been able to quit using these e-cigarette products constitutes an implicit claim of efficacy and thereby violates the FDA's regulations. Furthermore, they seek the FDA to order that anyone, even individual citizens, be forbidden under pain of federal law from making in any way, shape, or form any claim as to the efficacy of these devices to help people quit traditional combustible tobacco products in or by any means or media, be it in traditional print format or via any electronic means whatsoever. This means that if an individual were to give an interview on TV or any radio show or any news program or to post a personal testimonial up on any website stating that they were able to quit their combustible cigarette habit with the help of an e-cigarette, that person would be in violation of federal law because they are making a claim as to the efficacy of an e-cigarette to assist in helping them to quit, thus making that e-cigarette a smoking cessation device, just like patches, gums, and the pills which we know don't work, but which are federally regulated as drugs or devices. I don't know about you, but I never received any notification in any way, shape, or form, written or otherwise, that the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America had been either repealed or revoked. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard what I said, loud and clear. These people are seeking, via an end run, to subvert, nullify, and delete from the Constitution of the United States the First Amendment, which states, and I quote, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances." Close quote. Oh, but excuse me, I forgot. The FDA is not Congress. They are not elected. They are appointed bureaucrats who answer only to the executive branch of the government. And nowhere in that statement does it say that the Obama administration or any executive branch administration for that matter could not abridge a person's right to freedom of speech. Even though Mr. Obama swore on January 20th, 2013, and again, twice, once on Sunday, January 20th, 2013, in the Blue Room of the White House, in a private ceremony, and again in a public ceremony, which took place on Monday, January 21st, 2013, at the United States Capitol building, that he, and thereby, in extension, all of his appointees, who, by the way, are required by the Constitution to likewise take an oath of office, would, to the best of his ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this document put forward by the UCSF TCORS, which I believe stands for the University of California, San Francisco, which, by the way, is so chock full of lies and deceits, half-truths, and totally discredited science, is proposing that the FDA, a regulatory agency of the United States government, violate the Constitution of the United States and reverse all of the good things that these devices have done for not only the citizens of the United States of America, but for citizens of the world as a whole. And that they wish to maintain the status quo, wherein, 1, members of the tobacco cartel keep making their money by producing products that kill and maim their users. 2, that members of the pharmaceutical cartel keep making their money by producing products to assist users to quit those harmful tobacco products that the tobacco cartel keeps selling, and whose efficacy is just slightly better than water and or air combined. 3. Members of the medical industrial cartel to continue to make their money managing the symptoms of the diseases that come from the consumption of the tobacco cartel's products. 4. And here's the big one. The anti-tobacco cartel keep making their money from the tobacco master settlement, wherein they are fed, clothed, housed, and loved by the tobacco cartel's sale of their deadly products. And here's another good one you're going to love. By 5, the governmental cartel, who receives billions and billions of dollars from the tobacco master settlement's provisions. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I kid you not. This proposal, if it were to come to fruition by being accepted either partially or in total by the FDA, would not only be the first shot in the attempts by certain elements in this country to dismantle the Constitution, but would be the first time in the history of the Republic that a regulatory agency, by the single stroke of its administrative pen, would remove your right to free speech as guaranteed in the Constitution. But not only that, it would also be the first step in making the administrative removal of all of your rights as a whole. Yes, consider this. If this proposal were to go through and they administratively remove your right to freedom of speech, what would stop another regulatory agency, such as, we'll say, the Consumer Product Safety Commission, from deeming that a firearm of any kind was a dangerous consumer product, and by that deeming, order the removal of said products from sale in the marketplace, and, wait for it, if necessary, the forcible recall of all of those products from the consumer space as well. Don't laugh. If this proposal were to go through and precedents were to be set, it could happen. Once a precedent is set in case law and allowed to stand, it is set and set in stone and can only be overturned by specific legislation, and that then opens the door to the slippery slope wherein we, the people of the United States, are no longer, I repeat, no longer protected by the law from the overbearing and overreaching talons of a government that has run amok. I personally stand for and by the Constitution. I stand for that government that document instituted 226 years ago, and that countless men, women, and yes, even children have fought, bled, and died to maintain and uphold during all those years. Now, it's your turn to stand up and be counted. It's your turn to stand up and defend the Constitution against those who think nothing of tossing out in the garbage to protect their own financial interests, and who do not even give a single tinker's damn whether you or your loved ones live or die, so long as they continue to make their unholy and ungodly profits. Oh, and by the way, I have to say this. Where the hell is the ACLU in all of this? Where are those legal watchdogs and staunch defenders of the Constitution? Where are they? Why are they not mobilizing their forces to beat back this attack on the Constitution? I don't know. It's a question. People, get off your behinds. Answer this. This thing, this group of imbecilic zealots have proposed. Read this 29-page long document for yourselves. Read how they would take away your right to free speech just to protect the children. Stand up on your hind legs, ladies and gentlemen, and bellow at the tops of your lungs that we, the people of the United States, will not stand for this. Mobilize. Submit your opposition to this abomination of a proposal. And don't think for one single second that everything I have said here could not happen, because it most certainly could. These people are regulators. They answer to practically no one. The congressional oversight that they are supposed to be subject to is minimal at best, and for all intents and purposes, non-existent as a rule. I know that there are going to be a lot of people out there who are going to say that I'm crazy, totally Looney Tunes, and totally off my rocker. To those who say that, I say, read this document for yourselves. Here's the URL again, right down below me, if you dare, and you tell me if I'm crazy or not. It's time to step up to the plate, folks. It's time to defend your right to free speech. It's time to defend your rights, period. It's time to defend your right to vape. It's time to defend the Constitution from all enemies, both foreign and domestic. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. God bless each and every one of you, the USA, and the Constitution. Long may it live. Take care.